I mean, it needs to be answered. Can they continue to administer the bond program with $211 million?
I'll defer to staff.
Okay, can I get an answer?
Okay, so, from a facility standpoint, and the way that I look at this, is I'll just explain it with a piece of PVC or a hose. So this program is running at full capacity with a 1-inch hose. And so we're doing lots of projects. So if we do not get the waiver, we'll still do the project. The hole will just be smaller, and the length of time will just go out farther. So this is not, from my standpoint, if we can do the program, it's just when you want these programs complete. So right now, what we're trying to say is, we think that we can spend this money and get the program complete around 2025. If we don't get the waivers, and then that's going to go out for 10, 15 years, because I have a big glut coming up in my program, which is called Pinot Valley High School. That is really going to take $250 million. And once I commit that, then the projects around it will have to wait, because I can't go out and get this big chunk of money to keep everything going. And for that, it's as simple as that to me. But I've been told to stay in my lane, and that means for us to do the construction, and then we have the accounting team that's supposed to go out and get the money. So with my marching orders, we need the waiver. But if we don't get the waiver, the program will go on, and some projects will just get pushed out for 5 or 10 years. It's really not a big deal. If you don't want all the projects done in a contemporaneous fashion, and that's what it is for me.
And that's scope-driven, not budget-driven.
Nothing has changed.
Scope-driven.
So, and I appreciate everybody making comments about me and what I said. Some of them were accurate, some were inaccurate. And I don't choose to be defensive and fight all of those things. This was a concept that came up when we moved from a modernization program. You saw all those schools that Dr. Harder said that basically the buildings got refurbished to a full-out program. So where we go back in and we build things. And so that, as I understand, I wasn't here, that was called the 1-seat process. And as I understand, that was fully vetted, went through lots of board meetings, lots of other kind of things. And really all I'm doing is following marching orders. Yeah, this program is a scope-driven program.
Along with my comments, I also like to point a personal privilege. Is that one thing that I think is missing when people refer to your statements about scope-based budgeting is that you were acting, you're being a messenger, the whole tone that you had, the stance was, I want to be as honest as possible with everybody on the committee, and this is a policy that's part of the district policy. It's not necessarily the policy that I'm trying to implementing, and I'm trying to explain as clearly as possible what it actually is. So I appreciate that.
And really, so staff doesn't take any independent action.
Mm-hmm.
So while we are the messenger, and while I think rightly so, that we take the heat, all of the things that we do go in front of the board and get approved in front of the board. So that's why it's interesting to me that, we have the minimum that comes back and staff and all of this other kind of stuff when we're following direction. And I appreciate everybody's comment, and it adds beautiful context, and if this hasn't been talked about in 8 years, I think that's when this 1-seat standard happened. In 8 years, then I think it's an appropriate time frame to come back and talk about it. Because Charles knows about all of this. He's known about this because he's been involved in the program.
Now everyone else knows.
Well, now everybody else knows, but it wasn't like it was a big secret. It had been out there, and the reaction to this is interesting to me.
Okay, my specific question about